Good evening. Happy Earth Day, everyone. More than ever, Earth Day isn't just a celebration. It's also a call to awareness, to courage, and to responsibility. Climate change, pollution, and overconsumption, these aren't distant problems. They are here now, and they ask something of us. Luckily, we don't face them empty-handed. Today, you will hear from our students who we've studied, questioned, and dared to imagine a better world. Their voices matter, your listening matter. Please welcome our students and our first presentation. To begin our Earth Day event, we turn the attention to one of the most urgent and heartbreaking challenges facing our planet today, access to clean water. Please welcome our student Bushra with her presentation, The Global Water Crisis. Please, Bushra, floor. Screen sharing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bushra Ansari, and I'm from Pakistan. Currently, I'm doing my bachelor's in environmental science from John Wesley Theological College. And I'm very much honored to be here today on this special occasion of Earth Day. And I would be talking about something we all depend on every single day, yet millions around the world are still struggling to access it. Yes, it's the clean water. So let me share my screen with you. It's saying that I cannot share the screen when someone else is sharing the screen. So whoever is sharing the screen.
Sorry, please push silent.
Oh, is it on now? Okay. So my screen is visible to everyone, right? Okay. So let's begin with the question here. I would like to begin my presentation with a question. How is it possible, like, the earth is full of water, but still millions go thirsty? Isn't it something, like, strange that almost 70% of the earth is, water, but still millions go thirsty? It's because this is a strange paradox, but it's a painful truth. The crisis is not just about disappearing, like the water is disappearing from the earth's surface or the amount of water is decreasing. It's about how we manage the water and, like, who controls the water and how it is being distributed throughout the world to peoples. So according to the global data, 1 in 4 people lack access to safe drinking water, and it's a huge number. And over 3.6 billion people live without adequate sanitation. But these aren't just numbers; these are the people living there. These are true life stories of people. So this is something concerning. Like, we all need to be concerned about this. That how how is that possible that the earth is full of water, but still people are there struggling to access clean water just for drinking purposes? Moving towards the next slide. What the water crisis actually is. I belong to such an area where my home is, it is directly opposite to a huge towering mountain, and like I have witnessed firsthand the speed, the accelerating speed with which the glaciers are melting. So I belong to Chitral, and I saw how deeply people living there are connected to the nature and natural water resources. Glacial melt and rivers were a part of our life there. But moving abroad, after coming to Hungary, I realized that how easy it is to take it to take the clean water for granted. Here, it's just it's just a twist of a tap, and I get a whole glass of pure water. But it just needs we just need to realize it that how easily we are getting it. But it's not the same for others. There are millions of people out there, who cannot take water that easily as we do. So water crisis is not just about the water being decreased from the earth's surface. It's about the availability of water to other people living out there. So let's come towards the causes. Like, what causes the water crisis? The main cause of water crisis is the climate change, and the climate change is, as every one of you know, that it's on its peak, and every news channel, you can see it on every poster. Everyone is now advertising it that climate change is on its peak, and this water crisis is one of its, impacts. The impact of climate change. So due to climate change, we are observing more and more floods and longer droughts and unpredictable rainfall. If I talk about my own experiences in Chitral previously, like in Pakistan, this is located in the northern areas of Pakistan. Previously we used to experience long winters, snowfall throughout winters, and short summers. But now it's like the summers are extremely hot, which is like totally new for us, and the winters are snowless. So that's why the thickness of the glaciers is decreasing, and the water resources are our water resources are in danger. It's because of the climate change. The next major cause of water crisis is pollution. Our water resources are being polluted by the industrial wastes, and the sewage water from different factories and homes is directly going to the water resources, and that's why it's contaminating the water. So again, this becomes a major cause of water crisis, pollution. This pollution not only pollutes the water, but also makes it unsafe for drinking and for other purposes. Industrial waste, chemicals, and everything, these pollute the water and make it unusable. Then we have got the overuse and mismanagement. This is something, if someone wants to play their role in the solution making for this problem, this is the thing which they can do, to prevent the overuse or mismanagement. Nearly 70% of global fresh water is consumed by agriculture, and that's not consumed efficiently. Of course, that's not. It is consumed inefficiently, and 69% is a big deal, and just 8% of the whole water is used by industries, and 23% by domestic purposes used for domestic purposes, and 70% is used for agriculture purposes. the main problem here is the water which is used for irrigation, the canals and everything, like they are not properly built up, and that causes the leakage of water, and that way it's wasted. Like the pipes and everything, they deliver less, but they leak and waste, a major amount of the water. So that's how it's causing water crisis. Then population pressure. We all know that when the number of people increases or the number of consumers increases, of course there will be tension. So the more the population is increasing, the more the water consumption increases. That's why it creates a tension between the consumer and the resource what they consume. So population pressure is again a big cause of water crisis. And there are many people out there. If I give you the example of Sindh, rural Sindh in Pakistan, it's like many people there, they consume water from hand dug wells or from stagnant ponds, which they share with animals also. Like that's why I say that it's not easy for everyone out there to access and take drinking water or take clean water for everyone. It's not like that. Like the way we take it for granted, the way we take it easily, we take water easily, it's not the same for everyone out there. Many people in India and in Nigeria, places like that, they face big difficulty in accessing water, in consuming clean water. So the more the population is increasing, especially in India, the population is increasing, and in Indonesia and Brazil. That's why, like many cities in these countries, the population is increasing, and that's why they have started facing water crisis because of their increasing population. Now here comes water conflicts. It's not like that the rivers or the water resources, a specific country or specific nation owns them. It's not like that, of course. They flow like in a pattern between different countries. So different countries, different nations are sharing this water source, the rivers. So of course it creates water conflicts. If we take the example of Indus River, India and Pakistan are in conflict on this river because it starts from India and it flows through Pakistan also, the Sindh area and all. So due to building dams, the lower stream, the people living in the lower stream, those area, they face water crisis. So on this basis, their conflict arises. And if I have shown here a picture of Israel Jordan, and this is the Jordan River in Israel Palestine.
That's an interesting thought. Well, a picture
is Israel, Jordan, and Palestine. They are in conflict over this Jordan River because they share this, and due to building dams, this some of these Israel, due to building dams, Palestine and Israel, they face difficulty. They receive less amount of water. That's why it's creating a problem. And same like this, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan, they also have a conflict over water in over the Nile River, and Israel, Jordan, as I told you, in Palestine over this Jordan River. And then we have Turkey, Syria, and Iraq over Tigris, Euphrates. And because the upstreams of Turkey, like Turkey has built dams, and that affects the water flow. So that's why on this basis conflicts arise. Conflicts has arrived arise now. And it's said that by experts say that the next big world war would not be over oil but water. So we all need to be conscious about this. By looking at the conflicts and the people struggling to access clean water, it's not like that we don't have to be hopeless, because there are success stories as well. India, there are people have attempted to harvest rainwater, and this is a good way to store rainwater and harvest water from the rain for them, and they use it for everything, like drinking purposes and everything. And Cape Town is a city in South Africa, and they were nearly losing their water resources. Their water resources almost ended, but they, due to collaborative efforts, they prevented their water resources from being finished, and they prevented day zero. In Hungary here, smart water systems reduce the wastage of water. So yeah, together we can, if we aim to do, if we want to bring real change, and if we think about the next generation coming, or the years ahead, if we work together, come together and take action, because too many words and discussions and advertisements have been done already, and now it's time to take action. So if we take action together, of course we can overcome this global issue. So as individuals, what we can do, we all know that every drop counts, and every small action matters. So if we really want to make a difference, then we need to initiate it from ourselves. We need to take action first, and after that we can tell others or ask others to take action and play their role in solution making. So first of all, we can turn off taps when they are not in use, and report leakages and fix dripping faucets. It's just a symbol of responsibility. It's just about realizing the issue and realizing what others are facing in other corners of the world, and realizing their problem and being responsible and taking action. If we do that, then of course change is possible, and we can use water efficient habits. And the most important is raise awareness and support clean water initiatives. Raise awareness is I have it. It's been 3 days. 3 days ago, I went to the kitchen, and one of my friends were there, and he was taking water from the tap, and he just did not off the tap. So I asked him that why didn't you off it? And he was like, God has given us this, so it's never gonna finish. It's not like that. If you are going to say that, what about the ones illiterate, or the ones they're not educated? What about them sitting there? So it's not like that. It flows continually. It doesn't mean that it's never going to finish. Of course everything finishes. So we just need to be responsible and be careful about using water, use it responsibly, and if we do that, of course we can bring a change. Now, I would like to conclude it this way: the global water scarcity it's not just about water being scarce. It's about the survival of many people, millions of people living there. It's about millions of people, women, especially girls. They walk miles every day just to fetch water, and that water, it's not safe for them. It's not even safe for them, but they walk miles every day, and in this way many girls are dropped out from school. So it's not about just this water being scarce. It's about the life stories. It's about the many living out there. So we just need to be responsible and drinking clean water is not a luxury, it's the basic main human right. So we think about the rights of others because we are responsible for each other's rights. So yeah. And thank you so much. I would like to conclude it with this quote. Thousands have lived without love, not one without water. So every drop counts. So thank you so much for listening to me and for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was really thoughtful, and special thanks to draw attention to the fact that water is a human right and never take it for granted. Because here in the western part of the world, we tend to take clean water as granted. Okay, I'm asking the audience, do you have any questions for our presenter?
From my side, no.
Okay. Did you receive any questions, Ishan? Okay. So if there is no questions from the audience, thank you very much, Bushra. It was very thoughtful.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And let's shift our focus from the global to our somewhat personal and see how the media shape our consumer habits and how it influences the choices we make every day. So our next presenter, EP, will dive into the impact of media-driven consumer habits. So please, Katie, start your presentation.
Okay, I'll share my screen first. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Thipphaphone Sysavath, and I'm a student originally from Laos. Now I'm studying here in Hungary, and today I want to talk about two things that seem totally unrelated, but have more in common than you think, which is my love for shopping and sustainability. This talk is basically a peek into how my obsession with pretty things, from clothes to little trinkets, ended up making me question what it means to live sustainably, and how modern consumer culture, especially for people my age, often feels like a trap wrapped in aesthetic packaging. But a quick disclaimer before I fully start. I'm not here to preach or act like I have it all figured out. This isn't an expert advice or a lecture. It's just me reflecting on my own shopping habits and how they've clashed with what I care about. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because I'm learning too. So here's the thing. I love cute things. I'm talking about like shiny jewelry, pastel tote bags, merch from shows I watched, earrings shaped like frogs or mushrooms, anything that screams, I didn't need this, but I wanted it anyway. I don't even consider myself a fashionista or trend follower. I'm not hunting down the latest viral TikTok piece. But if I see something that fits my personal aesthetic, even if it doesn't serve a purpose, I want it. Shopping became more than just shopping. It became self-expression, a little reward, a way to feel better when homesick. And over time, I realized I wasn't buying based on me. I was buying based on feeling. And this became an addictive cycle. Social media knows exactly how to sell us. I scroll for one cute outfit video, and suddenly my feed is curated into a shopping mall tailored to my style. And it's not always aggressive. It's soft, friendly, aesthetic. Influencers aren't just yelling at us to buy this, buy that. Most are just sharing their favorite finds, making it feel more personal. And even deep influencing, which is supposed to help people stop buying, still keeps us watching. It's still content, still consumption, just dressed up differently. Like a sheep in wolf's clothing, one would say. It's honestly hard to tell where my own desires end and the algorithm's influence begins. I started noticing how culture shaped my habits. In Laos, shopping is simpler. We buy what we need, reuse everything, and most of the time we keep things for years. Like plastic bags become trash liners and empty jars became like cups. And especially I lived with my parents, so they're more responsible about what they want to spend and how they use their money. But when I moved to Hungary, I lived alone. Well, with a roommate, that's not the point. I entered a totally different culture. There's more awareness of sustainability here. There's recycling bins, second-handed stores, etc. But ironically, there's also way more opportunity to overconsume as there are more accessibilities to these things. I am always on my phone scrolling through shopping apps, ready to click buy now, add to cart. So, yeah. And why do we keep buying? So let's be honest, shopping isn't always about things. Sometimes it's about feelings. I've bought things because I was homesick, because I feel left out, because life felt overwhelming and that cute ring felt like control, like because I have money and I can just spend it to make me feel better, to get that a hit of dopamine. There's a reason we say retail therapy. It gives us quick joy, but it fades fast. And then what? Like we have a room full of stuff and a bank account that's crying, and all it gave me was clutter and guilt. I started asking myself, is the joy in the object or in the story I told myself about? And here's where the pretty things stop being so pretty. The reality is every tiny item I buy, whether it's a €5 shirt or a keychain, has a footprint. The fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions, and 85% of all the textiles end up in landfills. When I buy something I barely use, I become part of that problem. It's easy to ignore this impact because we don't see it. We see our closets, not the factories. We're just in our room and spending our lives being, ignorant. We see a price tag, not the water used to make that cotton bag. But the truth is, my tiny shopping habits repeated over time are not harmless. So here's the dilemma. Gen Z is kind of iconic for our contradictions. I'm a Gen Z, I'm only 20. We're the generation that posts infographics about climate change and then turns around and does a Shein haul 2 days later. Just for context, Shein is an online shopping app where they sell things like clothes or just any things for a really cheap price. But I don't think we're hypocrites. I think we're caught between wanting to do the right thing and just existing in a system that makes the wrong thing so easy. We've grown up in a digital world that constantly sells us an identity through things like clothes, phone cases, room decor. Even our bottles have to match our whole vibe. We want to express ourselves, but often that self-expression feels tied to buying more stuff. I mean, when we try to be sustainable, it becomes another aesthetic, the beige minimalism, the thrifted like Pinterest look, which is ironically also being sold to us now. And to be honest, this isn't just a Gen Z issue, it's a generation evolution. Older generations may not have had online shopping, but there were still status symbols like cars, branded appliances, certain shoes or watches. It's just that now everything happens faster on a global scale, and the pressure to keep up is constant. Like trends change over time. The next week, there will be a new cute shoes that everyone's run to stores to buy, and we're stuck juggling ethics, aesthetics, and access. And honestly, that's a hard thing to navigate when you were 20 and just trying to figure life out. Okay, so if I'm saying the system is intense and we're all just trying to survive, what can we actually do without giving up cute outfits and self-expressions? Well, for starters, curate, don't hoard. I'm a big hoarder. I keep things that I don't use anymore just for the sake of keeping it because I feel like it will be a waste. I don't know why, but I keep doing it. However, I'm learning that my wardrobe doesn't have to be big. It just has to feel right. If something doesn't fit or I never wear it, it's not adding value. It's just noise. So I'm trying to build a closet that feels more intentional. I want to actually wear my clothes, not just admire them in my saved folder. The second thing is pause before buying. This sounds simple, but it's such a game changer. Just asking, do I already have something similar? Am I buying this because I need it or because I'm bored or stressed or sad? Sometimes the answer is just, I want it because it's pretty, and that's okay. But if I take a day or two before clicking checkout, the excitement usually fades, and that's a sign. I've also started seeing value in secondhand shopping, which I never used to do much in Laos. There's a whole world full of clothes already out there. Swapping with friends or going to the flea market is kind of fun too. It turns shopping into an experience, not just a transaction. Because when you actually find a good find, you get really excited and a sense of self-accomplishment or something like that. And finally, we need to talk about the struggle. Because honestly, sustainability can feel elitist. Sometimes, like you don't have a $70 organic cotton tote bag, so you're doing it wrong. But that's not fair. Not everyone have that kind of privilege or money, especially to students, people in developing countries, or anyone who just doesn't have access to that lifestyle. We need to normalize small steps, celebrate people who repair their shoes, who thrift, who try their best, even if they're not perfect. The pressure to be perfectly sustainable can be so intense that people just give up. But I think being honest about the effort is better than pretending we've got it all figured out. After all this, reflection, here's what I've landed. I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just trying to be more aware. Like, it's easy to feel powerless. I'm just one person who really likes trinkets and earrings and cute sweaters. But what difference does it make if I stop shopping impulsively? But that's the thing. Change often starts with awareness. The moment I realized I was shopping for emotional reasons or because I saw a post 5 seconds ago, that was the first step. Now, even if I still messed up, I'm thinking about it, and thinking leads to better choices because you're aware. It also helped me realize how much the personal is political, like our small decisions where we shop, what we buy, how long we keep things actually do ripple out. When we support ethical brands or even just wear what we already own, we're challenging the idea that we always need something new to be enough. And maybe most importantly, I stopped being ashamed of the process. Like, I used to feel fake talking about sustainability while still loving fashions. And I love collecting things. I would call myself a collector, but now I think the whole point is to wrestle with those contradictions. That's where the real work is. So yeah, I like aesthetic things, but I also like knowing that I'm not contributing as much to a system that thrives on waste and overconsumption. I can care about how I look and still care about the planet. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. And of course, my choice alone won't fix climate change. The system is way bigger than any one person. But I do believe that normalizing mindful habits creates ripple effects. And we need to push for better systems, like clearer labeling, less greenwashing, more circular economies. We can't guilt people into caring, but we can show that sustainability doesn't have to feel like a sacrifice. Because when you keep feeling like you're sacrificing something, it's weighed down on you and you get burned out. Especially for our generation, it has to feel doable, even if that means starting with one less tote bag. So my final thoughts, my final conclusion is like, I'm still me. I still like pretty things. I still buy merch of my favorite character. But now I try to ask more questions before bringing something home. Sustainability isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. And on this Earth Day, I'm not here to preach, like I said, just to say maybe it's time we all just slow down a little. Thank you and happy Earth Day.
Thank you very much. It was a lovely presentation, and thank you very much for especially drawing attention to hypocrisy in this topic, because not only it's a very important aspect of your topic, and here I'm asking the audience again if anyone has questions to our presenter. Thank you very much. And thank you. It was very nice. It was a very pretty presentation, I have to say. And next, I would like to ask our next presenter, who is going to talk about greenwashing and its effects, and basically how it works, why it's so effective, and what impact does it have on consumers and the planet. Speaking of hypocrisy, Arsenii, please start your presentation.
Can you see it?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. So, jó estet, добрый вечер. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arsenii Kharakoz. I'm a student at John Wesley Theological College. I'm an exchange student, and now I'm currently studying environmental studies course. And today, I want to speak with you about the greenwashing. And I want to start with a simple question that you should ask yourself. Do you live in an eco-friendly way? So, what is greenwashing? It's a process of conveying a false impression or misleading information about how a company's products are environmentally good, how they sound. It's not about the thing itself. It's also about the way of production, this thing, transportation, and general image. So, what numbers do we have about the greenwashing? You can see some statistics here. All of them are quite recent. All of them got after 2022. So 60% of sustainability claims by fashion brands are misleading. And my groupmate previously mentioned the whole fashion thing problem. 70% of the US companies admit to greenwashing. some of the data made by United Nations Environmental Program, some of the data made by Eurocommission. In the EU, more than 230 different eco-labels currently exist in the market, but you realize that they are not really eco. And if we compare 2022 and 2023, 26% more alleged greenwashing incidents happened across all sectors of the economy in the EU. And what's the main problem with this? The main problem is that 88% of Gen Z are no longer trust ESG claims. And it can be a simple fact, but the problem is we don't have any effective tools right now to prevent ecological catastrophe, except for ESG. So it's the base. And if our generation wouldn't believe in the idea of ESG, who will take action? And with this, I want to remind you that it is okay to have doubts. When you're buying something, when you're a client or a consumer, it is okay to check all the information twice or more. Right now, companies are trying to leave all the responsibilities to consumers, but it's not right because consumers shouldn't be in charge of all the negative effects that are made by huge companies. And it's their business, but they are trying to make us guilty. And it's a problem. So you don't have to believe in every green label that you see on the package of product. It's okay for you to check everything, and don't forget that every product that is really eco or bio or green should be certified. There are some organizations that are in charge of checking and certifying everyone. So it's okay to have doubts. And here I would like to look at some set examples eventually all of them are related to fashion, but you can see lots of examples in different sectors that are related to greenwashing. So some of the screenshots are made in the Adidas website. For example, you see this description. This product features at least 20% recycled materials. Or another one, upper contains a minimum of 50% recycled content. Well, the general image of the product is that it's eco-friendly. But all of us realize that even 50% of the upper part of sneakers is not enough to call this product eco-friendly, and it is a greenwashing, sadly. And the same with the 20%, at least 20% of recycled materials. It's not enough to prevent all the problems. It's good that companies admitting that they are a part of this global problem. Well, at least Adidas admitted that they feel responsibility, but right now they can't stop it. So they're trying to reduce their effects, but it's not enough. The same problem with the H&M conscious collection, because they have a general description and it's kind of white and not really specific. You can see the screenshot. And the thing is, that's all. So there is no further explanation how this program works. And there is also some accusations that the conscious collection and conscious products are not really so conscious, because this program functions like you go to the store, you give them some old clothes or something that you not longer use, and they give you a discount coupon. But the thing is, it makes you buy something else. So it's not really conscious, because it makes you buy and consume more. And the second thing is that we can't be sure that they really recycle this old clothing, because it's the same problem as in Mango and Zara. It's the last screenshot. Greenpeace noted that clothing, which was donated to 2 stores, followed a route to public recycling bins. So they introduced that they have some specific programs, but in fact, it's the same. And companies are not really controlling what is going on with your old clothes, but instead they give you a sale coupon, and that's fine. But that's not fine. That's fine for them and for the business, but it's not really fine for the environment. So why is greenwashing dangerous? Firstly, it delays real climate action, and that's what I was talking about. People think that it's enough that they do something, for example, giving old clothes, and maybe it somehow recycles, but no one knows. And people think that it's fine. They made their contribution, and maybe it's enough. But the fact that it's not enough. And while we think that against something by these simple methods, in reality, nothing happens, and there is more and more garbage, and huge companies can earn more and more money. But I doubt that they donated to fight climate problems. The second thing is that it erodes confidence in sustainability. I previously mentioned that 88% of Gen Z no longer trust the ESG claims. And it can be a problem later, because if no one will be confident, who will take action? And the third con is manipulating in market. So it's about making the gap between rich and poor bigger, but in between different businesses. So for some huge companies, it's easy to persuade their clients and consumers all over the world that they really do something cool for the nature. And for small businesses and companies who are really trying to be sustainable, it's not good, because consumers continue to buy their everything they need in huge companies that are not really doing something, and responsible small businesses suffer from it, because it's not so easy to be sustainable and to follow all ESG rules. So they lose some money, while huge companies gain some money, and we have this huge economical gap. So that's my question again. Do you really think that you live in an eco-friendly way, or was it just something that companies made you believe in? I ask everyone to take real actions. You know that sustainability is a complex thing, and it contains lots of actions, or sometimes you even shouldn't do something to make the situation better. I think that everyone knows the rule of 3R: reduce, reuse, recycle, and it can be basic, but it's not too hard. For example, to sort rubbish when you used something, when you ate something, or maybe at least once a year or more frequently go and plant some trees or do another eco-volunteering. It's not that hard, but it will have its effect. And nowadays, we also have 3 more R. So it's not 3R, it's 6R. Reduce, reuse, recycle, that you know, and also repair, rethink, and refuse. And I would like to stop at the last one. So maybe you don't need something, maybe you don't need that extra sugar or extra plastic fork at the restaurant, and you can just refuse. You can just say that you don't need it and save it for everyone, save it from throwing away. So I think that it may take time, but you can find something that will fully fit in your lifestyle to make it more eco-friendly. So I think, yeah, it may take time, but it's worth it because it's connected with our future and future of future generations. So that's all. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I would like to answer them, or you can contact me.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Yes, and thank you very much, especially for pointing out the responsibility of these bigger companies and how they shift the responsibility to how they shift the responsibility to the consumers, and also how I really love these labels where they state that their products are eco-friendly, and it's always with very big fonts, and the details of these programs are always in small fonts. So this is a recycled product with bigger fonts, and in smaller fonts in 20%.
5%, yeah.
So yes, and it was also very nice in that presentation. We haven't received any questions yet. So, but feel free to ask any questions during the presentations, and also the other presenters are welcome to ask questions or start a conversation. Moving swiftly on, I would like to talk about another topic which has very much to do with Arsenii's topic, and thank you very much, Arseni, for your presentation. And Dorothy, please start your presentation on plastic waste. Dorothy, can you hear me?
Thank you so much, Professor, for this opportunity. I'm just trying to share my screen right now. Just a second. Sorry. Okay, okay. Just a second. Okay, good evening all. I hope you can hear me. Oh. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Not really. Just a second. I can't seem to share my screen.
Okay, then no worries.
Just a second. Can you see my presentation now?
No, just okay.
Let me try sharing again. Not yet? Okay. I think I sent the presentation to Professor Lilla. She can help me share it because I can't seem to share it from my screen. Ah. Professor, can you help me share the screen because I can't seem to share from my computer?
Yes, I'm on it, no worries.
Thank you. Let me stop sharing.
Yes. Yeah. Here it is.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Dorothy Chebet Rop. I'm a student at the John Wesley Theological College, second year student in environmental science, bachelor's degree. I would like to wish all of you a happy Earth Day as we are celebrating this day to see how we can renew the earth to become nearly to its natural form. Happy Earth Day to all of you. So I'm here today presenting Zero Waste Lifestyle, especially the tips for reducing plastic waste in our planet so that we can have a cleaner planet in the future. Yes, next. So we have several reasons as to why we reduce plastic waste. We need to reduce plastic waste in our planet, and all of us have a reason, one or two. And majorly, we normally study in class as environmental scientists, students of environmental science classes. We normally study mostly in waste management. And this time we're looking into reducing plastic waste in our planet. So why do we need to reduce this plastic waste? We have a lot of reasons as to why we need to reduce plastic waste in our planet. First, we need to protect our marine life from plastic pollution, which are the most affected. The marine life is the most affected when it comes to plastic waste pollution, because most of the people in our planet dump their waste into the marine world. So another reason why we need to reduce plastic waste is it reduces landfill waste and pollution, which saves the soil, it saves the water underground, and the water that we consume in our daily activities. Also, another reason is lower carbon footprint from plastic production and disposal. It helps us to lower the carbon footprint as we also plant more trees to absorb the carbon, and also if we have plastic waste covering the soil, that means the soil cannot penetrate, the oxygen cannot penetrate into the soil. First of all, we have poor soil content, and the next thing that happens from poor soil is that we have poor plants, growth of plants, and that will affect also the water retaining in the soil and other water also that we use on a daily basis. Some plastic waste carry chemical remains. It carries a lot of chemical content. The plastic itself is a dangerous chemical that doesn't decay so easily. So we have a lot of reasons as to why we need to reduce plastic waste, and I narrowed down into these 3 points. So let's look into our first tip for reducing plastic waste in our planet, which is in our next screen. So we carry reusables. Tip 1 is to carry reusables. Most of us, we are aware of, for example, the water bottles, the bags that we can carry to the shops. Majorly, in the past years, we've been using single-use plastics. We go to the shop, we buy, we come and throw it anyhowly. It ends up in the environment and destroying the soil, destroying the plants and the animals as well. So majorly, let us carry reusables so that we can be able to contain the number of plastic waste that we are producing and dumping into the environment, and also we can be able to have a proper management ways of managing plastic waste that are being dumped into the environment. Reusables such as water bottles, coffee cups, and shopping bags. These are the things that we need to. For example, when we go to the shop here in Hungary, I see people carrying plastic bags for themselves, or maybe other bags that they go and buy goods with. Those are good ways to go into a sustainable future, into reducing waste in the environment, because all the time, if you go all the time buy another plastic, it ends up accumulating, and the environment is the end product that will suffer from all this. So let us choose stainless steels or glass containers over plastics, because the stainless steels can be reused severally. The plastics, the glass can also be reused, can be washed and reused severally also. So let us try and carry reusables anytime we buy our daily things that we need in our households, in schools, in workplaces, everywhere. Let's go to tip number 2. Let us avoid single-use plastics, like I mentioned earlier. Majorly, like buying water every time you go out. That's a perfect example. You don't have to go out every day when you're going out. You just go because you know there's water in the supermarket. You just go and buy, drink, and then dump the bottle. That is not a sustainable way. And as environmentalists and people who want to save our planet, that is not a sustainable way that we can save our planet from plastic. If you keep buying them and dumping them into the environment is what will suffer, because we also have to produce more to cater for the rising population. So it is advisable that we carry plastics. We carry bottles, water bottles. Buy your own water bottle. Carry every time whenever you want to go. You just have to refill the bottle and continue using it until it is no longer of good use anymore, so that you can take it to a recycling plant or maybe accumulate it, and then they will take it as a community to a recycling plant or maybe reuse and others. Also, it is also advisable to use wooden or metal alternatives instead of using plastics, which takes time to decay or decompose in the soil or in the environment. We can use wooden materials which easily decay and have value to the soil when it decomposes. We can also use metal products, which takes longer before we dump them into the environment. We can reuse them severally before we dump them into the environment. Let's go to the next tip number 3, which is buy in bulk. Buy in bulk. I had someone talking about shopping habits. These are the things that we need to consider when we are looking into our shopping habits. You don't have, for example, if you are using 5 kg of rice per month, you don't have to go buying 1 kg every week, 1 kg every week. No, you can choose to buy 5 kg in one bag intact, so that you can be able to use it the entire month. Or you can also choose to buy in a bigger bag so that you can be able to use it longer and also be able to reduce the amount of plastic bags you're dumping into the environment. Because if you buy 1 kg, it all comes with plastic bags, which are not good for the environment, as we have mentioned about plastic bags affecting the soil, affecting the plants, affecting the animals, and also affecting us as human beings in the environment. Bring your own containers for bulk. When you go to the stores, ensure or maybe make it a habit of taking your own containers to go and buy something from the shop. Make it a habit of taking your own bag. Reuse one bag for a long time until it is not serving the purpose anymore before you dump it or maybe take it to a recycling plant. It is advisable that you keep them in one safe place. Take them anytime you are going shopping. Take them or buy in bulk. Buy a lot of goods so that you can be able to avoid using a lot of plastic bags that comes with small goods that you buy from the shop. Tip number 4. So let's choose sustainable alternatives always. Sustainable alternatives mean we are using things that are easily recyclable, easily decomposable in the environment, things that can decay easily when dumped into the environment accidentally or maybe in the landfills. Let us try as much as possible to use things that are sustainable enough, things that if you dump like wooden products, if you dump into the environment, it helps, it decays so easily, compared to the plastic bags, which takes time to decay in the environment. So I would suggest that we use wooden products in trying to save the planet as a sustainable way of buying products from the market. Use wooden toothbrush. Let us use beeswax wraps because this beeswax wraps, especially when you wrap your products, it is still safe, but it is a one-time use, and you can still it decays so easily when it lands itself in a landfill or maybe in a water body. It decays after some time. It's not like plastic that will take forever to decay or doesn't even decay at the end of it all. So I would prefer that we choose sustainable alternatives. Of course, someone would ask about the wooden products, about sustainability in using wooden products. Yes. Consuming wooden products in a sustainable way is a way of helping out the planet, saving our planet, not just taking them from the environment and not, like, for example, if we cut down trees, you have to cut down trees after planting other trees that are already planting other trees and ensuring that they are surviving in the environment. That is a sustainable way of growing trees in our environment, whereby we can also come and use it when we harvest to use to maybe make the toothbrushes, to make other things that we use in our homes daily. So we ensure that the ones that are in the nature are already growing. So that is a sustainable way of ensuring that we keep collecting, we keep harvesting them. At the same time, we keep producing them, and we keep growing them so that they can be able to sustain the future generation. Tip number 5: recycle properly. Sorry. So we have ways of recycling products, especially here in Hungary. I took an example of here in Hungary, especially Budapest. We have several bins that indicates that this is where you put plastics, this is where you put food products, this is where you put non-recyclable products like the plastic now and the metallic products. Hungary is a perfect example of trying to reduce waste that we dump into the environment, because in most cases you find that they recycle the products. We have the 50 forint that if you buy a bottle of water or maybe a bottle of beer, a bottle of wine, a bottle of anything, after you use the water, you can take back the bottle for 50 forints. That is generating money, and that is encouraging the members in our community to have a sustainable way of generating waste into the environment. That is recycling the products easily. It can help to recycle the products easily and encourage also the community also to taking back, because you're going to get something. For example, in the previous years, if there was not this 50 forint take back, people used to dump the bottles anyhow. People used to dump plastic bags anyhow, because it has it has already served the purpose. It has no use anymore. But as for now, people are very careful. Even someone will tell you, this is my bottle, because they know this is money in it. So this is also a sustainable way of trying to reduce waste in the environment, recycling the products. And recycling comes with different ways. It is very hard to recycle municipal products because they are mixed up in. We have a lot of every kind of waste inside it. We have food products, we have plastic products, we have metal products in it, we have chemicals in it. So it is hard to really recycle municipal waste. But this way of coming up with different bins marked with different colors and different labeled properly, this helps in recycling, because if you can see properly that this is a waste, this is a bin for bottles, plastic bottles or plastic bags. If you put it there, when it comes to recycling, it is easy because it is clean. First, it is clean. Secondly, it doesn't have any products that it is clearly indicated that this was water, this was milk, and so it doesn't have any product that will bring mix up and bringing more expenses maybe in cleaning and other things. So it is good to recycle properly the products so that we can be able to reduce waste that are going into the environment. As of 1st of January 2024 here in Hungary is when they came up with this law of returning the bottles and for 50 forints. This encourages people and it also educates in a way that if we recycle products, we don't have much going into the environment. We don't have much going into our water bodies. We don't have much going into the landfills and other places that people do dump their waste products. So this helps reduce. It has really helped. Because I've been here since 2024 January until now, I've seen a cleaner environment. We are coming up with a cleaner environment. We don't have bottles everywhere, because if you happen to put a bottle or maybe leave a bottle somewhere or forget it, someone will come and pick it because it is money. So it helps to clean the environment as well. The 50 forint helps to clean the environment as well. The next one. Compost biodegradable items. Composting majorly happens, it is really hard to compost in big cities, especially like in Budapest. It is not easy to compost. But I am happy also to have read that here in Hungary, there are some communities that have come up with like compost pit, community compost pit that people will go and dump products like food products, things that are easily biodegradable. so that it can be composted. So composting biodegradable items like compost food scraps, scraps and biodegradable plastics. Biodegradable plastics are like maybe the plates that we use majorly in some places like, let me take an example of KFC. We have plates in KFC that are it is one use, but they are easily compostable. They can biodegrade easily. Those are the kind of products that we are advocating for a better planet in future. So composting products like food, also maybe in your backyard, back home, you can take you can dig a small hole and make a small compost, or you can also use plastics. We have also plastics that are plastic containers or maybe plastic bags also that are used for composting products. So in this way, if we educate the community, if we educate the public about this, they welcome it in a good way, we are going to reduce plastic waste that are going into the environment. Also reduce landfill waste by composting at home. Those are the things that we plan. I also read somewhere that in Hungary, in some villages, they have a compost pit where the community will dump there and it will compose. And later on, it helps to renew the soil. It is nutrient rich. It helps to renew the nutrients in the soil. So it is also used as a fertilizer for organic products in the fields. So composting is a good way. You can also, we also visited a wastewater plant like 2 weeks ago, and we learned that every single waste is put into use. There's nothing that is taken in for landfill. Everything is put into the use. They also generate biogas. Biogas can be generated from from the compost. They generate. They have a lot of things that from the sand, the biogas, the water, taking it back to the environment when it is safer. So these are the things that we should be advocating so that we can reduce plastic waste going into the environment as well. Next. Tip number 7 is support eco-friendly brands. Eco-friendly brands are brands that are easily biodegradable, use packages that are easily biodegradable. For example, I can take example of IKEA here in Hungary. In Europe, IKEA produces majorly bags that are easily biodegradable. So these are if we look into these eco-friendly brands, if you look into the picture, I have put like several eco-friendly brands, like eco-friendly. If you go to the market and see, just let us have a practice of taking a product, reading through it. If it has the eco-friendly brand, eco-friendly mark, that means it can be biodegradable easily. It can decay easily. It is not purely plastic. So those are the brands that we should be going for. Let us support businesses, local businesses that produce packaging minimizes plastic packaging. For example, I said IKEA. Sustainable products and look for eco labels. Eco labels such as the ones that I have put on the screen, the eco-friendly labels. These are the things that we should be looking at when shopping. The habits of the buying, the shopping habits. I had someone mention about their shopping habits. When you go for your shopping, if you are addicted to shopping, or maybe in your free time you like to shop, majorly try and save the environment as well. See the eco labels in the products that you buy. Buy less plastic products and the products that are eco-friendly, so that we can save our planet in the near future for the next generation. Next slide. So I generalized the importance of having a zero waste lifestyle. All of you have one reason or another of adopting this zero waste lifestyle. So I have 6 points where it protects the environment. We have studied that we have landfills that go into the land. We have plastic going to our water bodies, the marine life, affecting the marine life, killing the turtles, just affecting generally the marine ecosystem. Plastics are not good for the ecosystem. They block the oxygen from going the water. Some animals, some marine animals entangle themselves also with the plastics. So it is not good for the animals. It is not good for creatures living in water, and it is also not good for us living in land, and also for the trees that are growing, for the plants growing on the surface of the water. So it protects the environment. By minimizing pollutions in the oceans, landfills, and also other ecosystems. Secondly, it reduces resource consumption. The 4 R's: reusing, recycles. It helps in creating mindful consumptions, which helps in reducing. It helps you to strain yourself less while using the resources that you have. If, for example, if you are going to buy with your own bag, or you are buying in bulk, you don't have to go every time, and you will also reduce the amount of waste that you are generating from your household. So this helps reduce resources consumption also. It saves money. Like I've said, if you buy one plastic and use it for 3 months, you don't have to buy every day. It saves your money. If you buy in bulk, it also saves your money, that you don't have to be going every day, because every package has its own cost, additional cost. Every package has its own additional cost. If the rice is 500, additional cost for the plastic bag or the packaging is always there. It's always inside. So if you buy in bulk, that means you have reduced, or you have saved the money that you are supposed to be buying every now and then. Also promotes mindful living. It creates discipline from yourself. Discipline starts from you, from your own household, as we move outside. You cannot come and educate people outside that you want us to reduce waste. You want them to reduce waste. This is how you're supposed to reduce waste. But when it comes to yourself, you're not having that discipline of reducing waste. But if you have the discipline, even yourself, like for me, I cannot taking a packet of sweet and then throwing the package into the floor. I feel very bad. I'm so disciplined when it comes to that. I always put it in my pocket until I get home. And even when I see someone throwing it into the environment, it really hurts me. I just find myself like I'm going to pick it. So that is the kind of discipline that promoting zero waste lifestyle brings to us. It promotes mindful living. You don't have to hurt anyone. You don't have to feel hurt, and that is how we're going to do it, hopefully in the near future. It also supports circular economy. Circular economy moving. As you buy the products, you take the bottles for recycling or maybe reusing. That is it promotes a circular economy. If you take back the bottle, you get your money back. It keeps promoting this, supporting the circular economy in us, and that helps in promoting our planet, a cleaner planet in our near future. Reduces carbon footprints. Less production, fewer emissions, healthier planet. We know that the algorithm, less production, fewer emissions. If we are producing less, we have fewer emissions and we have safe environment. We don't have more greenhouse gases being generated. We have a cleaner air. We have clean trees. The trees are growing up in a cleaner way. They have good oxygen. We also have good oxygen. We avoid respiratory diseases. We avoid a lot of issues that come up with this emission of chemicals into the environment. That helps that can only be achieved through less production of plastics in our environment. If we take heed of these tips that I've mentioned, and we are self-disciplined, it will help us to produce less plastic products in them, and which will help in fewer emission, and that means we can only live in a healthy environment. When we have fewer production, we have good air in the environment, the soil is in a good condition, the water is also in good condition, we have saved the marine life, we have saved the plants, we have saved the human life. That is the only way to go in the near future. In my conclusion, I personally think that adopting this zero waste is a powerful step. it helps us towards protecting the environment in the near future, now and in the near future. It helps us by reducing waste. It helps us to reduce pollution in the soil. It helps us to reduce pollution in the water. It only means that we can have clean water. We can have cleaner. We can breathe in clean air. We can have a good soil. We plant good products, and we consume products that are healthy enough for our bodies. So by adopting this zero waste lifestyle, we can go far. We can save our generation, our future generations. We can save our now generation and save the planet as well. Like reducing plastic, composting biodegradable waste help us to generate organic fertilizers. And by generating organic fertilizers, we use it in the farms and get organic food, which is more healthier compared to other type of food that are being produced in the farms. And also, if we support these eco-friendly brands, we do not only minimize our ecological footprints, but also inspire others to do the same. It starts with you. If someone sees that you are disciplined enough when it comes to protecting the environment, you don't have to tell people all the time that this is what you need to do, or don't throw the package of sweet in the environment. Like, for example, one day I picked a packet of sweet that someone threw into the street. I picked, and she turned back and told me, "Oh, Ray, I'm very sorry. I didn't even realize when I was throwing it." She felt guilty. So this is self-discipline. Discipline starts with you, and people will learn from your own discipline. If we start reducing the waste, if we start putting them in the right places, the right places for easy reusing, for easy management, for easy recycling, that will help us to create a good environment and living with other people in harmoniously. If we start by ourselves, it starts with you, it starts with your household, it starts with your neighbors, and then we move to other people. So if we are disciplined enough, we can, all me and you, we can be able to save our planet from this plastic waste. We can be able to save the water, save the marine life. We can be able to save the plant life, the ecosystem, and other things that depend on a cleaner environment. We all depend on a clean environment. The plants, the animals, us, we depend on a clean environment. And when we're in a clean environment, we have less diseases, we have less, we live a healthier life, and that will help us to come up with living longer, even living healthier as well. So I support the zero waste lifestyle. I support reducing waste in the environment, not just plastic waste, but other waste that are more affects the environment majorly. So in the next slide, those are some of my references that I used to get this to create the slides. And then thank you for your attention. And if there's any question, I am here. Thank you so much for the privilege.
Thank you very much for the presentation. This is quite comprehensive. I would like to ask if we received any questions, because it was a fairly detailed presentation. And if there is any. Okay, we didn't have any questions. So thank you very much, Dorothy. Is the sustainability and transportation, which also have things to do with the previous topic. And I would like to ask Sofija to start her presentation.
Just a sec. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, the editing mode.
Sorry, what?
We only see the editing mode. Have you started the presentation mode?
Yeah.
We can.
I wanted the everything mode because I don't know if the full screen will work.
Okay, then.
But I will try now. And how do I? Okay.
It works.
Do you see the full screen?
Perfect.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening and happy Earth Day once again. My name is Sofija Zivulovic, and I'm a second-year student at John Wesley College in my fourth semester. And my topic today, I chose to speak about the sustainability in public transport, especially electric vehicles. So, electric cars, how they work, and how they affect and can help or potentially have more harms than benefits, but we will see in the following slides. These are the things I will be talking about. First, I split them in 4 parts. First, about the sustainability, then how they work, the electric vehicles, challenges and solutions about them, and the future of them, maybe some new technologies and innovations about them. First up, the problem that inspired this whole presentation and this genre of vehicles and technologies is the reliance and pollution from fossil fuels all around the world, because every vehicle that was used traditionally and are still used massively use coal, which is very harmful for the environment, because these vehicles produce CO2 emissions and other greenhouse gases, which cause more global warming and overall more climate change, less air quality, less water quality, and everything else that's going on wrong. So there are things that start from everywhere. This is just one part of it. The electric vehicles are motor vehicles that are powered by electricity or batteries, exactly, and not fossil fuels, not coal, but some of them are half and half, so hybrid, but I will be talking about that more later. However, the use of batteries in general means cleaner energy because of less fossil fuels. My focus is to see how these electric vehicles can be a solution for a sustainable and low emission transportation, and maybe reduce air pollution and greenhouse gases along the way, but also see their shortcomings as well. Now, the first one about sustainability. We all know transitioning to renewable energy is very important overall in sustainability because of fossil fuels, as already mentioned. And this is also essential to maximize EV benefits, because if no one uses this technology, it means nothing to the world. So in order to maximize the EV benefits, we need to use the electric vehicles if possible. Lightweight and smaller electric vehicles tend to be better because they require less materials, instead of more mining for materials for trucks and heavy SUVs, because mining is also a part of a problem that causes CO2 emissions and destroys land use and things like that. And this is also one of the concerns about the electric vehicles, because they require batteries, which require lithium, which is mined, and it's very harmful and limited on our planet. Also, environmental justice should be a part of the whole conversation about sustainability and electric vehicles, because electric vehicles tend to shift the environmental burdens from the urban areas where they are accessible, and they are more produced in the urban areas, and the tailpipe emissions they are more prominent in urban areas, but the mining and energy production are in the more foreign areas and the rural areas, where comes into question the environmental injustice, because why should some developing countries or less developed areas in a country suffer the injustice of mining and bad air quality, so that the cities and urban areas can thrive? The EVs reduced greenhouse gases emissions, but not to zero. The total emissions of them vary depending on the electricity mix and the type of electric vehicle. As I already mentioned, there are some manufacturing environmental issues in this area. That is the battery production, which requires lithium, cobalt, or nickel mining, which is all, not very easily found on our planet, and they produce CO2 emissions when used. Recycling infrastructure is still under development, and but this is critical to improve the sustainability, because if one battery is used, it also becomes a part of waste, and it's not really benefiting anything, just causing more problems. Long-term solutions require a circular battery economy, which is also connected to the recycling infrastructure that can reduce resource extraction and the emissions if there are solutions to use the battery longer. If the electric grid is fossil fuel dominated, so I mentioned there are some hybrid electric vehicles, that EVs lose their purpose in the sustainability. Then now, how do they work? I mentioned briefly about the electric mixes, but and here's in more detail. The electric motor is present instead of the internal combustion engine, which produces fossil fuels. And there is a large traction battery pack which powers the electric motor, and it must be plugged into a wall outlet or charging equipment for it to have power and charge and then work. This is the big battery in the car, and this is the input of the charger. They require EVSE, which is the electric vehicle supply equipment that charges the vehicle so the batteries can work. They do not emit exhaust from a tailpipe if it's fully based on batteries and electricity, and they do not contain the usual fuel components, which is the fuel pump, fuel line, or fuel tank with coal. These are some of the type of EVs, electric vehicles. We have the battery electric vehicles and the hybrid versions of them. Also some fuel cell electric vehicles and extended range. If you want to learn more about these, I found this in this article, which is at the end of the presentations. But here is just a brief look at what types there are about electric vehicles. This is one picture about the charging station for the electric vehicles. It's like a normal gas station, but it's electricity, which then pumps. It doesn't pump; it charges the battery in your car. Now about the challenges and solutions. As already mentioned briefly, but or now it will be in more detail. The battery materials raise ethical, environmental issues when mining, and because these materials are scarce on Earth and they are hard to find, therefore they are used more often, so they are gonna be scarce, and there will be less and less of them on the planet, and this becomes then a problem because there will be more and more mining, and the cycle goes on. So also there is the limited charging infrastructure in the world, especially in rural areas and developing countries. Not everyone has the facilities and the availability to have the charging stations and have the electric cars overall. So if one person wants to have these vehicles, maybe they are not able to have them because in their country there is not enough charging stations, so their battery dies somewhere on the road. It's a big problem and they cannot charge their car. They also have a high upfront cost, but despite the falling prices after, they need to be, it's an investment, and but it can be a good one if there is facilities to sustain them. The sustainability of these electric vehicles depend on the clean electricity supply and materials used. The batteries get used up quickly now, and they contribute to waste landfills. So this is one challenge that is maybe trying to get resolved. And the public concerns about the range, performance, and battery life, as I mentioned, the risks of the not enough infrastructure, charging infrastructure in different countries and areas. About the solutions, on the brighter side, we can develop recycling batteries and reuse systems, invest in smart and widespread charging networks. Yeah, this is something that governments can focus on rather than other things. They can focus on being sustainable and investing in smart, widespread charging networks, the infrastructure, the battery recycling, better materials for the batteries, and people cannot do this. This needs to be done by someone who can invest, which is the governments, and who has the power in the countries. Also, the government can have some incentives to lower the costs of making and selling the electric vehicles, and they can promote them so that the people can know that they, especially small electric vehicles, are better to use, and maybe shared mobility, electric bikes, and maybe electric scooters and buses all in the city. This can all be done by the government. Also, they can increase the confidence they have in electric vehicles so that the public will be more willing to buy them and use them. About the future of them, some of the new technologies that are being developed is that they can use different materials to produce the batteries. That can reduce the charging time, better conduct heat, which is one of the also challenges of batteries. They can overheat and they can work. They can be of shorter lifetime if it's more hotter, if it's hotter outside, and some of the other elements they can use materials for the batteries are more environmentally friendly and potentially more durable. Some of them can be magnesium ion batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, a mix of lithium and some other metal, lithium and air, aluminium and air, sodium and air, or graphene. These are some of the examples I found. Maybe there are some more, but they can be a smart solution to this problem of lithium mining. Also, there's a technology of wireless charging, which is still being developed, but also used somewhere, where the vehicle could be able to drive across an area which is powered by electricity in the ground, and the battery would charge automatically faster and reduce the time to charge the battery, or the need to go to a charging station specifically to charge your battery. These have also high associated costs, and it's limited the possibilities of infrastructure. as with all the other aspects, but this is especially limited and not developed everywhere. But it's a smart solution that can be taken seriously, and it can be a big change. Overall, EVs offer a cleaner alternative to the fossil fuel vehicles by reducing greenhouse gases and urban pollution. And this, besides all of the negatives that can be present, it's better than the traditional vehicles that use the coal and fossil fuels that have no positives, if I'm able to say, the only negatives, only the emissions and the pollution of the environment. The sustainability challenges remain in these, but it's the solutions are available, and if paid more attention to and if invested in, it can be a big change, and everyone plays a role in this. Individuals can choose to use EVs if they have the facilities and if they are able to financially and able to have them in their country, and they can support cleaner energy overall using public transport and supporting incentives that government can make about the overall electric public transport. And policymakers, they can invest in the overall infrastructure and create incentives I mentioned before. Electric vehicles are part of a bigger shift towards smart, sustainable, and inclusive mobility, and they can help us all in this journey towards sustainability on our planet if used smartly and responsibly. Thank you for your attention, and happy Earth Day once again.
Thank you very much. It was also a very in-depth and thoughtful presentation, and very in-depth because there were such amount of new information in it. And thank you very much for detailing the technology itself, because it's not always clear what are the difference between different types of electric vehicles. I would like to ask if we received any questions from the audience. No, thank you very much. Then I would like to ask our last presenter, Teg, and her topic is very interesting and a bit more casual for closing this event. She will talk about the effects of filmmaking. It's very interesting. So please, Teg, start your presentation.
Okay. Excuse me, can you see my screen?
Yes, but
Is it okay? Everything okay?
How about me sharing your presentation again?
I updated my presentation once more, so.
But you can see.
It's not working?
Not yet, but just. No, it's okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, hello, good evening. Thank you for being here. My name is Tegshjargal Bayar. I'm from Mongolia, second year student of German State Theological College. Today, I want to take you behind the scenes, not to the actors or stunts, but to something far less visible, yet incredibly important, to the environmental impact of film industry. We all love movies. They inspire us, entertain us, and sometimes even change the way we see the world. But what we don't really see is what it takes to create that movie magic and the hidden cost it can have on our environment. So today, let's pull back the curtain and explore the environmental footprint of film production and what's being done or could be done to make the silver screen a little greener. Okay, now imagine this. You are sitting in a dark theater, popcorn in your hand, hair raising as the opening scene of blockbuster explodes into the screen. The lights flickers, the sound booms, and you have completely immersed in the action. But as you lean in, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what's the environmental cost of that explosion? Today, we are driving into the environmental impact of Hollywood films. Especially, we are looking at the carbon footprint behind these cinematic spectacles. Here's something you might not know. The average big-budget Hollywood film produces up to 2,840 tons of carbon. To put that in perspective, that's equivalent to the yearly emission of about 600 cars. It's not just the set, it's everything. The carbon footprint comes from everywhere. Cross-country flights, diesel generators, enormous lighting rigs. It's like putting on a concert every day for 6 months. Sets are often built from scratch, used for just few scenes and then trashed. Thousands of tons of materials end up in landfills every year. Fun fact, the set for The Hobbit is used so much polystyrene, a plastic that never biodegrades, it could have filled an entire football field. Now, when we think about movie sets, we often picture beautiful red carpets, star-studded casts, and breathtaking special effects. But behind that beauty, there is a less beautiful reality: waste. In fact, the amount of trash generated on a typical movie set is staggering. A big budget film can produce up to 275 tons of waste. To put that in perspective, that's about the same amount of waste that 20 rich households would generate in an entire year. What's even more troubling, only a small fraction of that waste actually gets recycled. The rest, it ends up in landfills. And we are not talking about small amounts. This includes everything from discarded props to single-use plastics. It's a serious environmental issue, often overlooked in the pursuit of the perfect shot. And here is a shocking fact for you. One blockbuster film used over 10,000 plastic water bottles in just one production. Imagine the amount of waste that accumulates across an entire franchise. It's a hidden cost of movie making that we can no longer ignore. Now, if you think the environmental cost of filmmaking is limited to waste, think again. Movie productions are not only wasteful, but they are also incredibly energy hungry and carbon heavy. A major studio film can release over 3,000 metric tons of carbon into the atmosphere. To put that in perspective, that's the same amount of carbon emission as driving 650 cars for an entire year. What drives this carbon load? On the location shoots, the need for air travel, massive lighting setups, and gas-powered generators all contribute to the problem. But here's the kicker. Even streaming content, something many of us do daily, has its own carbon footprint. Data centers that store and stream fields consume massive amounts of electricity, which often comes from non-renewable sources. And to drive this point home, let's look at some hard facts. In 2020, film and TV production in Los Angeles alone emitted 260,000 tons of carbon. And keep in mind, that was a slow year because of COVID-19. Just imagine how much more emissions are generated during a normal production cycle. Now let's take a brief look at growing hub from film production, Ityek. A small town near Budapest in Hungary. It's often referred to as Ityek Wood because of this booming film industry. One of the standout attractions here is Corda Studios, which opened 2007. It's now one of the largest and most advanced film studios in Europe, named after Sir Alexander Korda, a Hungarian-born Hollywood director. The studio has become a major player on the global film stage. Some of the biggest blockbusters have been shot here, including The Martian, Blade Runner, Dune, and Hellboy. So why has Ityek become such a hotspot for filmmakers? Its combination factors: generous tax incentives, experienced local crews, proximity to Budapest, and of course its stunning landscape that make it an ideal location for big budget production. While Hungary is rapidly becoming a popular destination for international film production, the environmental costs are significant, just like in any major filmmaking hub. Productions here can emit up 3,000 tons of carbon, which has direct impact on air quality, contributing to global warming. But it's not just emission. The construction of sets and transportation required for these productions also leads to high energy consumptions and waste generation. If not managed sustainably, this waste can have even more severe consequences. Set building and transport can cause soil and water contamination, harming the local environment and ecosystems. In fact, in 2023, international production spent nearly 1 billion filming in Hungary, making it a key player in the global film industry. Budapest has even become stand-in for major cities in Hollywood films, further adding to its popularity as filming location. But the environmental impact is not just about carbon emission. Air pollution worsens issues, while noise and waste affect local communities and ecosystems. This side effect can be detrimental to the long-term health of both the environment and the people living in the area. However, there are local solutions emerging. Origo Studios, for example, has invested in energy-efficient brigades to reduce its carbon footprint. Meanwhile, invitations like Green Film Lab and Zero Carbon focus on training filmmakers on sustainable practice and offsetting carbon emission, making strides towards a more sustainable future for the film industry. Here is a major film shot in Hungary. Shortly, Blade Runner, Dune, and Martian, Red Sparrow, and so on. Change is happening. Disney isn't just creating magical worlds on screen, they are also working to protect the real one. On many of their productions, the studio has swapped traditional diesel fuel to biodiesel, a cleaner renewable energy source made from things like vegetable oil and animal fat. This switch helps cut emissions from set and generators without sacrificing the magic we can love on screen. Fun fact, on Pirates of the Caribbean, at world ends, biodiesel was used to power marine vessels and equipment, making it one of the first Disney productions to experiment with cleaner fuel. Netflix is more than just endless content, it's planning a greener future. The company has pledged to achieve net zero emission by 2025, meaning every show, movie, and documentary will have a smaller environmental footprint. They're reducing internal emissions, supporting renewable energy, and investing in ecosystem restoration to offset their remaining impact. As one fun fact, Don't Look Up Netflix hit Climate Scare was produced with sustainability in mind. It used low emission transport and locally sourced materials, aligning the film's message with its methods. Here's a sustainable practice on set. Some simple yet powerful changes are making a big impact on reducing film production's environmental footprint. Firstly, switch to LED lighting. LEDs use up to 80% less energy than traditional tungsten or halogen lights, and they last longer too. They swap can drastically reduce electricity use on set while maintaining cinematic quality lighting. Secondly, use digital backdrops. Instead of travel virtual production technologies like the volume, allow filmmakers to create entire worlds digitally, eliminating the need for travel. This reduces both carbon emissions and energy consumptions. Thirdly, build reusable sets. Reusing set pieces across different productions saves materials, energy, and transportation costs. It also cuts down on waste when filming ends. Okay, why this matters? Movies don't just entertain us, they shape us. They tell us who we are and who we can be. If the film industry goes green, it sends a powerful global message. Caring for the planet isn't a subplot, it's the main story. Binge watching might seem harmless, but every click, stream, and autoplay has a hidden cost. Behind platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus are massive data centers that run 24/7, consuming huge amounts of electricity to keep content flowing. Streaming 30 minutes of video generates around 1.6 kilograms of carbon. That's the same as driving a gas car for nearly 6 kilometers. As we demand more high-resolution content, 4K, HDR, and endless episodes, the energy required to store and deliver those files skyrockets, making streaming a far bigger environmental burden than we realize. Your choices have power. We have the power to change the industry with our choices. Every time you stream, support, or share content, you are sharing what the future of entertainment looks like. Your voice matters, your views matters. Let's make sustainability a part of the storyline and create greener and more responsible future for film and media. Solutions. The audience role, you're part of the story. You don't need a camera or director's chair to make a difference. As an audience, your choices have real power in shaping a more sustainable future for the film industry. Here's how can you help? Support eco-conscious films and studios. Secondly, stream smarter. Thirdly, advocate for greener productions. The credits are rolling, but the story isn't over. Be conscious, be curious, be part of the plot twist. The film industry's power, imagine the positive environmental change it could create if we all play a part in shaping its future. Okay, here's my personal movie recommendations for greener future. First, we have WALL-E, an animated classic that remind us of that importance of sustainability, setting future where the Earth has been abandoned due to environmental neglect. Secondly, Avatar, James Cameron's groundbreaking film set on the lush alien world of Pandora, which highlights themes of environment destruction and the importance of protecting nature. Thirdly, we have Inconvenient Truth. This movie brought global attention to the dangers of climate change, urging people to take action for the planet's future. Lastly, Okja, director Bong Joon-ho, a thought-provoking film that addresses the dark side of industrial farming and its impact on both the environment and animal welfare. Here is
Right now.
Sorry.
Right now.
Now I have some inspirational quick video, so please pay attention.
We're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Outrageous threat in thousands of years. Climate change. If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon. The world's people have spoken. Their message is clear. Time is running out. The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere now is 50% higher than it was in 1900. And not only are we piling in more and more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but we are chopping down the forests of the earth at a great rate. And the forests themselves are the most efficient consumers of carbon dioxide that there are on Earth. We're going to destroy the ground because the soil of a rainforest isn't very good. We are actually tampering with the climate of the Earth and the very atmosphere that we breathe. When we talk about the disappearance of the ozone layer, we don't know what will happen when the ozone layer goes. The world has become so fragile that we cannot subject the Earth to the tortures we can now inflict upon it. When we talk about the greenhouse effect, we're talking about something that affects the entire Earth. And these problems are life and death problems. They go to the root of the viability of the planet itself. If there's one thing that is biologically certain about the human species is that it is a human species, one species.
If we don't stop the destruction of our natural world, nothing else will matter. Simply put, if we don't protect nature, we can't protect ourselves.
The only way we can solve a problem is by a human solution. Never can we sit back and wait for miracles to save us. Miracles don't happen. Sweat happens. Efforts happens. Thought happens.
Okay, thank you. This presentation is made by a huge fan of movie industry, but more importantly, a person who lives on Earth. And happy birthday.
Thank you very much. It was beautiful. And I would like to and yes.
I hope my presentation was understandable because I was just
Absolutely.
a bit panicked. Like, okay.
So we don't really understand that these problematics, but you draw attention to these details, which are very important in my opinion, because as you said, these movies will be the footprint basically of our present. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for all our presenters, because our event has come to an end. Thank you for joining us. And is or not. So here is our poster again. And thank you very much for joining us. And I would like to draw your attention that our presenters was part of the newest, one of the newest generations, Generation Z. And I really think that we should consider their opinions and think about their word as wisdom. And happy Earth Day to everyone. And we were the students of John Wesley Theological College, and wishing you a nice evening. Goodbye.
Thank you so much and have a nice evening, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.